Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Wednesday, September 5th, 2018. And here are some of today's trends in the news. On the market front, it's a down day from Asia to Europe to a mixed USA. And boy, Bitcoin, bada boom, bing, down almost 6% on the word that the Goldman Sachs gang and other private equity groups and hedge funds aren't that interested in trading it. So it went down pretty big. And as we've been saying, the support of the cryptos has a lot to do with the majors wanting to trade it and to be in the whole blockchain and cryptocurrency game. So we're going to have to see where this goes, because if more start bailing out, you could see the price going lower. And the Dow opened up down, closed up a little bit. So what's going on? NASDAQ and S&P 500 fall as Netflix leads steep tech sell-off. And, well, how come they're not blaming trade issues on it? It's more than this. Its emerging markets have a lot to do with it. You're watching currencies hit new lows against the dollar or hitting yearly lows against the dollar. This crypto contagion, is it going to spread? Here's your answer. Trend alert. Trend alert. Emerging market crisis contagion? Yes. Follow the trends. It's all here. We've been talking about the emerging markets and a strong dollar for a long time. Just about the first out there as soon as this started to happen. Because you go back to the beginning of the year, most of the forecasters said there'd be a weak dollar. And we said no, because of the tax cuts by Trump that are going to boost equities in the United States and repatriating that money from overseas so they could bring it back for almost free. So if you're taking it out of those countries, yeah, their currencies go down because you have less bucks over there. That's part of it. The other one, of course, is the Fed's aggressive raising of interest rates. So read your trend alert, because things may not seem to be what they're showing us. It could get a lot worse. Gold prices, which came up a little bit today, can go back up if this emerging market crisis continues, and not because the dollar will get stronger. There's another reason behind it. And that is, according to this story over here in the Wall Street Journal, Fed doesn't have reason to step back. Welcome back from summer vacation. As far as the Federal Reserve is concerned, not much happened while you were gone. That leaves them on track to keep tightening. Well, that's what you say. We disagree. Because if this emerging market crisis continues the way it is, again, you're seeing currencies down 30, 40, 50% against the dollar. There's going to be a crisis here. If they keep raising rates, those currencies are going to crash even worse. You're seeing interest rates in Argentina at 60%, a world high. So, again, read your trend alert. We see a different story emerging. And again, gold prices, we believe they're near their bottom. We said 1,200. Again, give or take 20, 30, 40 bucks on the downside isn't a lot. And oil. Well, oil dropped because of that storm didn't hit those oil fields out near Texas as they anticipated. But again, this is going to be a supply and demand issue. We've been saying for quite a while now, the range of oil is that $70 to $75 a barrel, up and down a little bit below. If it breaks above the 80, watch out. Because $80 a barrel, going back to the emerging markets, what's dollar-based oil sold in? Dollars, petrodollars, of course. So, your currency's getting cheaper, costs you more to buy it. That Indian rupee, woof, down against the dollar. That's right. 80% of their energy is imported. So you got it. And what else do we have here? What keeps the economy going? You know what? Mergers and acquisitions. And we got one right over here. Transocean strikes $2.7 billion deal for deepwater rival. Acquisitions point to round of M&A activity as oil price rally gathers pace. Again, what's driving the markets up? Stock buybacks, merger and acquisition activity, and cheap money. Again, you're looking at emerging markets indexes down almost in correction territory. If they go down lower, you're going to have a lot of problems. This merger and acquisition activity is going to slow down, and it's going to bring back the other equity markets into correction territory as well. And South Africa in recession, first time for 9 years. You can see where it's going. Take a look what's going on here in the States. You want to keep raising those rates? Hey, the Wall Street Journal says you're stupid to believe they're not going to. Well, weekly mortgage applications. The volume was 18% lower compared with the same week a year ago, last week. Refinancing applications to refinance a home fell last week. They're down 37% lower than a year ago. The average rate was nearly 0.75 of a percentage point lower a year ago. So 0.75 of a percentage point has made that kind of a difference. People can't afford houses now, mostly young people and even older people. So raise rates, less affordability. Mortgage applications to purchase a home increased 1% for the week, and with 2% higher than a year ago, they're still, however, at historically low levels. And everybody comes out against Trump on those tariffs and trade deals. And I'm totally on Trump's side on this one. Totally against him what he's doing with Israel, Saudi Arabia, and their war against Iran, or the war of words and the economic warfare they've already imposed. However, I support him on this. U.S. trade deficit jumps by the most in 3 years. And with China, it surged 10%. Okay? Who would do business like this? And again, don't blame China. Blame the corporations in your country that sold you out to get their products made by cheap labor somewhere else. And now, of course, they're going out of China and they're going to Vietnam and other places where they could get more slave labor. So I'm all in favor of trade tariffs because I'm in favor of jobs that pay living wages through manufacturing, where people are doing the work that deserves the kind of salary they used to make when America, when I was growing up, had middle-class families where my father, may his soul rest in peace, raised 7 kids, and my mother was able to stay home. Stay-at-home mom. Most moms were in those days. So I'm all in favor of it because the American dream has vanished in the greatest economy ever. A new study reveals how many American families are struggling with debt and savings in the greatest economy ever. Of course, that's in quotes, and they're making fun of that. More than 80% of American families define the American dream as financial security and home ownership, and more than half think this dream is unattainable, according to a study by the Massachusetts Mutual Life Insurance Company. The bottom 90% of Americans are trapped in insurmountable debt, including auto loans, credit card debt, payday loans, and student loans. Only 1 in 4 families have enough emergency savings to cover more than 6 months of expenses. And you got it right here. $1 trillion plus in credit card debt, another $1.5 trillion in student loans, $1.1 trillion in auto loans, and $15 trillion in mortgage debt outstanding. So I'm all in favor of these measures that Trump has taken to bring real jobs back to America. So, you know America's great friend overseas, don't you? You remember they brought him over here, the Clown Prince. Oprah saw him. Yeah, Apple Peoples. Oh, he was a big star. They chauffeured him all around. Yep. He gave the women a right to drive their cars. U.S.-backed Saudi regime set to behead female activists and 4 others. And those activist women that got Clown Prince to let them drive, they're in jail too. You're going to behead them. And Netanyahu angers settlers by only advancing 1,400 homes. 1,400 new Jewish homes in the West Bank settlement. They wanted 3,000. These aren't settlements. This is stolen land. That word is nothing more than pure...
That was bullshit.
Total bullshit to call them settlements. But Israel could steal all the land that they want because you remember Chucky Schumer. It says so. That's right. You just don't believe it. And that's why the Palestinians, right there in their good book, it says it right there. And God said they don't believe in the Torah. That's the problem. So, again, outright thievery. If other nations did this, they get called out. But America, Israel, and other nations could do what they want and get away with it. Because Israel says it struck Iranian targets in Syria 200 times in the last 2 years. Who did this come from? Israel's Minister of Intelligence, Israel Katz. Quote, only just now was published in the name of military sources, so I can quote it too, that in the last 2 years, Israel has taken military action more than 200 times within Syria itself. And you're going to call me an anti-Semite, huh? You can't call them out. Oh, guys ain't Semites, you're Ashkenazi Jews. You're Eastern Europeans. Semites are Palestinians. That's right. And people from the Mesopotamia region. What a bunch of bullshit to call people out for calling out the truth. What right does Israel have to go into Syria? Same right that the United States has to go into foreign nations, sovereign nations, who've done nothing to them. Against international law and immoral. But they can get away with it. Because Israel army admits to arming Syrian rebels. The Jerusalem Post published an article on Wednesday, today, quoting Israeli military officials as saying they have been providing 7 different Syrian rebel groups with, quote, large amounts of cash, weapons, and ammunition. Yep. Join the Saudis, join the Americans, and join others that are giving these rebels with a cause. Yeah, you know, because they overthrew Gaddafi over there in Libya. Oh, those radical Islamists. That's right. And by the way, this shows you the hypocrisy and propaganda. Big story here. Russian airstrikes hit Syria rebel haven. Trump administration warns of consequences of looming regime effort to retake Idlib, Syria. Rebel haven? No. It's Al-Qaeda. And these are the ones that the United States and its coalition of the killing are supporting, while I support Occupy Peace. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's Trends in the News.